All right, so this is a little secret I got. I have a bucket, and if you can see, you see the water's coming out right here? So no matter how much rain we have, there's never gonna be more than that. It's gonna come out. So I'm gonna take a couple of small pots, and I'm gonna put them inside this bucket. Let's just say we could fit this one. We could fit this one here. Look, can you see this, Ant? We fit these two in here, right? Now, I'll put one of these next to it. I'll put this one next to it. Can you see in there? So basically, it's separated. I take these branches I took off my Roma plant, I trim all of them, and I set them in here. And I'm gonna leave this out in full sun. Now this is Memorial Day. I'll be back in a few days. When I come back in a few days, we're gonna show you the roots. Then come over here and look in the top of the bucket. Roma plant, and we trimmed all of the branches off the bottom of this. These earthworms, they're making this dirt marvelous. So I pulled all the branches off with my trimmer. I didn't use my fingers. And now we're digging a nice trench. And can you see what's going on? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Another worm. All right, there's the roots that are on that plant. Can you see that, Ant? Now watch what I'm about to do. We're about to lay this plant down. Okay? You see all that? That whole stem is about to get buried. And so now, this plant is gonna send out 20 times the amount of roots as it already had. Another earthworm, look at him. Did you catch all that, my buddy? Ant? Did you catch all that?
Yeah.
You don't like to talk when you're videotaping, do you? So here we go. Roma plants are getting dug down deep. When we first planted them, I don't think they went down far enough for my taste. So I got two more, I'm gonna lay them down. And just remember, this is Memorial Day. And I can see this one right here already has some little flowers on it. You see those flowers? But guess what? We're gonna lay them down anyway. I'm literally digging up the whole plant. Okay? Wow, these worms ain't no joke. And after we dig up the whole plant, I'm gonna take that whole root and lay it down over there. And I'm gonna stand this plant up carefully because you don't wanna break it. You wanna bend it, you don't wanna break it. And now I already did the other two. You saw me do the first one. I did the second one by myself. It's impossible, Anthony was busy. But here's the deal. You saw, oh, there's another branch coming off. I've got my cutter. Be careful, okay. That's about to become another clone. So here's the deal. I planted it nice and deep, and I moved it. So all three of them are kind of spaced out again. Basically, all three of these plants just had a new lease on life as far as putting out giant, large amounts. Now you just, you're gonna have to bear with me because Anthony was videotaping and he doesn't really know how to videotape yet. My granddaughter's just starting to catch on, and I bounce around with the camera all over the place. Sometimes I have to delete a video because my face is not in it or what I'm trying to shoot is not in it. But here's the deal. This is so important that I'm gonna take the video I have today and I'm gonna put it together. So I wanna teach people how to clone a plant. If you have tomato plants and they're not really anything spectacular, who cares? But if you have a tomato plant that is doing phenomenal, these three Roma plants, I mean, they were towering, they were doing great. They were monster tomato plants already flowering. And it's only been 2.5 weeks. So guess what? We just laid them down. I let Anthony plant them. He tried his best, but he didn't plant them deep enough. So not only did I pull them out all the way, but I laid them down. So now they're down to little 1-foot plants. with beautiful leaves, but the whole stem is going to send out roots. And I spaced them out pretty good. This bed's only got 3 plants, but I promise you, when I come back in a couple of weeks, you're not going to believe what it's going to look like. This is going to look like a jungle. And we're going to get plenty of beautiful, delicious, healthy Roma tomatoes. And that's what Miss Karen wants. And don't forget, all the branches I cut off today, there they are. They're about to become little versions of these plants. It's called a clone. When you cut a branch off a tomato plant, you cut all the little leaves off and you root it, it is now part of that same plant's genetic line. It's just going to be the same genetics. It's going to be the same healthy tomato planted in the same dirt, same sun, same water. You can't fail. You can't fail. Miss Karen, she wants plenty of Roma tomatoes. So I got enough clones right now for 3 more beds. In less than a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm going to come back to these and I'm going to show you the video. And you're going to see all the roots on all those little baby clones. So Anthony just brought me some blackberries. Phenomenal. Juicy, delicious, ripe, big. They're nice and big. Blackberries. They're just popping off of these rogue volunteer blackberry bushes. I told you a few weeks ago, we're digging them all up and we're moving them to the back fence. I'm going to try to give each one of them its own pipe, its own raised bed. Because they just do what they want to do. I digress. Last week, we cut a bunch of branches off of these Roma plants. And when we cut them off, we put them in this bucket over here. Oh, they're not in the bucket no more. So let me tell you why. It's been a week. It's time to take them out of the bucket and trim them up. I'm only going to leave a couple of leaves on each one. But let me show you what's starting to happen on the stems. So now I'm going to put them in a pot where they can hang out and they can get full sun. Check this out. You see what's starting to come out of the stem? You see those little baby roots? All right, you could see that, right? All right, it's been a week. Actually, it's about 6 days. And it was time to pull them out of this bucket, put them in a little pot, trim them, clean them up, only leave a couple of leaves because there's not enough roots to sustain a full plant yet. So I cleaned them up as much as I could. I kept the best ones. I put them in there. They got little tiny roots. That's what I was just showing you, little tiny baby roots. And if you remember, last week, these are the Roma plants we pulled them off of. We trimmed up these Roma plants, we sunk them down, we laid them on their side, we really gave them plenty of places to grow roots. Then we took those branches, and now they are clones. Exact replicas of the genealogy, the genetics, whatever the scientific word you want to put on it, it's more of them. It's more of them. Clones. Roma plant clones from our best Roma plants, from our best Roma seeds, because every year we seed save off our best plants. I net them. I keep everything from crossing them, so there's no cross-contamination on the pollination, and then we keep those pure seeds. When we grow them, we take the branches, we clone them, then we get another bed and another bed and another bed, and because we're staggering the growth, we'll have tomatoes right up until October. Clones. Who would have known? Right, it's been a couple of weeks now. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we started our tomato clones. You remember? You cut the branches. We cut the branches off those Roma plants. And then we trimmed all the leaves off. Left just the tops and we put them in the water. So one of them fell out. I popped it back in. The leaves are still green, so I don't know how long ago it popped out. But the rest of them, they're actually, well, one of them's droopy a little. But they're growing. Let me show you the roots. Okay. I think I'm going to wait until Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and put them back in the water. But on Sunday, Anthony and I will be back here, so I'll go ahead and get them planted. But that's it. Take your best tomato plants and cut the low branches off, clean the leaves, and get them in some water out in the yard. They will grow roots off all those little bumps. Now you have cloned your tomato plant. No genetic modification, no GMOs, just a straight up clone of a beautiful plant. And that is how I replicate the plants that are doing very well in our yard. My wife wants as many Roma tomatoes as I can grow her, and we're nowhere near as many plants planted. So cloning is going to be the answer for this year.